Screech by Taran NCT on AO3. Episode 31, Chapter 32. Izuku was determined to avoid Dad's gaze. He knew his dad wanted an explanation for his comment, but how was he really supposed to explain that his mom had cut off his wings regularly for about a year solid when she was trying to force him to be quirkless? Yeah, it'd been about 5 years since the last time he lost a wing, but he knew it'd grow back. And who knows? He might even have all of his adult's feather on that wing now. What? He heard Keigo screech. Oh, Dad must have told Keigo either that his wing came off or that he'd said it'd grow back. All that was left was for Hito and Pa to hear, and then the whole family would be after him for an explanation. Izuku glanced around and seriously considered running off and finding his own way home. But the thought of making sure everyone in his family was okay won out, and he jogged towards the police barricade where he could see his brother's purple hair. He only made it a few meters before he was grabbed by a panicking Keigo. My baby bird, Eraser said you lost a wing. We can get that fixed. We can get in touch with a support company. We can get you a new wing. Don't lose hope. The sky hasn't been... Izuku cut him off by covering his mouth. Keigo, relax. Yeah, it hurt. It always does, but it's not the last time. I've lost my wing about a dozen times before. It'll grow back. As Izuku watched Keigo blue screen from the new information, he continued on his way to Hitoshi. Once again, Izuku didn't get far, but this time it was Hitoshi who had noticed him and came running over, dunking under the arm of an officer trying to keep him on his side of the barricade. Izuku, he called out as he reached him and pulled him into a hug. Are you okay? Izuku clung to Hitoshi and scoffed. Am I okay? What kind of question is that? You're the one who was kidnapped. Are you okay? Hitoshi laughed. Yeah, I'm fine. The guy they knew as the babysitter was actually kind of cool. We just bullshitted the entire time. Izuku noticed how Hitoshi still hadn't loosened his grip on Izuku, and how he was shaking. So Izuku kept his own grip on his brother tight. Shouta and Keigo didn't take long to join the two, and nudged him towards the medics. I'm fine, Hitoshi said. I don't think I even have more than a few scrapes and bruises from the training camp. It's not for you, Keigo murmured. Eraser's ears could use a look over, and I want a medic to look at my baby bird. Hitoshi pulled back from Izuku a little, and then started looking him over. Are you hurt? Izuku waved his hand in a so-so motion. Nothing you could see, but one of my wings did get ripped off. Don't worry, he exclaimed quickly, seeing the panic in Hitoshi's face rising. Like I already told Dad and Keigo, nay, it's not the first time. Hitoshi paled a bit. Not the first time, he whispered. Yeah, I'm with Keigo. Let's go get you to the medics. Izuku sighed, and resigned himself to a trip of the hospital so everyone could finally rest, knowing that he really would heal and be just fine. Detective Tsukuichi met with Shouta and the rest of the family at the hospital for their statements. Izuku was letting all the doctors fuss over him, but it was clear that he was only doing so to humor everyone. He said he was fine, and by the way he was acting, Shouta had a feeling he really might be fine. Shouta wasn't sure if he was gonna be fine, though. The way Izuku just calmly explained how his mother had cut off his wings as soon as they healed had him seeing red. I almost wish she hadn't been arrested and tried already. I'd love to be the one to catch her. Resisting arrest. Right about now. Shouta growled. Wait. Izuku looked up at him. Arrested and tried? When did that happen? Hizashi cocked his head at Izuku. About a month after we took you in. Your mother was arrested. Didn't we tell you? Izuku shook his head at them, wide-eyed. Oh. Hizashi and Shouta shared a sheepish look. Whoops. Tsukuichi snorted at both of them. Her trial was last week. I was wondering why you weren't there, but if you weren't even told she had been arrested, that makes sense. She was sentenced to 23 years in prison. Keigo was sitting next to Izuku, and he pulled the boy closer, wrapping him in a hug. Things were a little hectic the past week. Sikuichi, we don't want to further upset the little owlet by making him go through all that. I guess it just never crossed our minds that he didn't know she'd been arrested. Izuku leaned heavily into Keigo's hold and gave him a soft hoot when he started cartling his fingers through his hair. Izuku seemed to twitch as Keigo pulled out his phone and answered it. "Hello, this is Hawks. How can I help you?" Shouta hadn't heard it ring, but the two raptors in the room did. Keigo got up and excused himself from the room. "Well," Hizashi said as he took Keigo's spot next to Izuku, "I'm glad the doctor said that your injuries won't affect your typical day-to-day life. But are you really sure your wings will grow back?" Izuku cuddled close to Hizashi and let him pull him into a hug. The boy certainly loved his cuddles, and nodded. "It's gonna be about a month before it's back, and then about another month of exercise before it's strong enough for me to fly again, but yes, it'll grow back. I'll have low energy for the next month, so more naps, and likely sleeping through the whole night, but I'd really be fine." Hitoshi nodded, gratefully. "Maybe now I'll be able to beat you in a race." Izuku wasn't sure if he was supposed to be happy or irritated, and kept alternating between the two emotions with everyone showing him inattention. First, it was Keigo, Shouta, Hizashi, and Hitoshi fretting about his wing, and now he's got Denki throwing into the mix as well. That's not to say he didn't like the constant snuggling, and he loved how Dinky kept him tucked under his chin and his arms wrapped around him, but still, the constant worrying was getting annoying. Who would have thought that Shouta would be the one to rescue him? You know, the constant worrying when nothing at all is wrong is irritating, fast. He said he's fine, so stop pestering him. Everyone looked at him, sitting there coolly, scrolling through his phone, while Izuku just started nodding. "He's right," Izuku said. "There really isn't anything wrong with me, and while I do love the cuddles," he tightened his grip on Dinky slightly, "I'd appreciate if everyone could just stop mentioning my wing?" Shouta nodded, sagely. "Instead of fretting over Izuku, how about we switch over to Hitoshi? You were just kidnapped after all." Hitoshi rolled his eyes. "Okay, I get it. Nothing's wrong, and it's irritating. I'll stop." He murmured and flopped to his side, laying across Shoto's lap. Shoto simply smiled and started running his fingers through Hitoshi's hair. "Well, if we're doing a subject change," Denki piped up. "Hitoshi, what was up with that kid at the camp? After mourning on the first day, he wouldn't stop following you around." Hitoshi hummed in agreement. "His name is Koda. His parents were heroes who died in action, and he was bitter about it. A bit of trauma dumping can make friends, I guess. The way he was following you around almost made me think you were gonna bring home a new little brother." Dinky laughed. Shouta snorted. "The kid kicked Sensei in the shin. I don't think he'd ever willingly take that kid home." Izuku plopped his head up at that. "No, Dad let someone kick him?" "Let is a strong word, Izu." Hitoshi giggled. As the group dissolved into giggles, a red feather opened the patio door, and Keigo landed on the balcony, and he took it off his boots before coming in. "Hey, chicklets," he greeted before flopping onto the couch next to Izuku and ruffling his hair, earning a soft chirp in response. "Are the responsible adults around?" "Responsible adults in this household? Please." Hitoshi laughed. "But if you mean the parentals, they're in the kitchen." "Parentals!" Keigo called out, lazily not getting up. "Your presence is being requested." "Fuck off," grummed Shouta from the kitchen. Izuku giggled at Keigo's Alfreded expression. "I wasn't expecting you back so soon, Keigo. That call sounded important." Keigo was still mildly glaring at the kitchen, but responded. "Oh, it kinda was. The press wanted me to relay a few messages to you and Sashi." He raised his voice so he could be heard by the two in the kitchen. "Which I would gladly be doing now if the parentals would come here." "Again, fuck off, Keigo." Shouta called out again. "They're making dinner." Shouta explained. "We couldn't decide between Katsudan and Suguri, so they're making both." Keigo huffed out an annoyed breath. "I suppose I can share my message after dinner." Denki piped up. What's it about? You said it was for Izu and Mike-sensei? Keigo hummed in agreement. It's not important, but I do need to deliver them today. Keigo paused. Well, I had to deliver Izuku's today, but I can always let Hizashi get blindsided by his. For fuck's sakes. They heard Shouta grumbling from the kitchen, followed by Sashi's snorting laughter. Go find out what the pigeon wants. I am not a pigeon, you overgrown hobo caterpillar, Keigo countered, to the amusement of the teens. Hizashi exited the kitchen, wiping his hands on his hand towel and laughing. What's up, Kig? I wanted to see the hobo's face when I say this, so I need you both. It can wait for after dinner. He shrugged. We didn't cook for you. Shouta called out again from the kitchen. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this torture way more than I should, Keigo hissed. Hizashi rolled his eyes fondly and went back into the kitchen. Dinner will be ready in about 10 minutes. Dinner was fun. Keigo stubbornly refused to share the message since now Shouta wanted to know. But eventually the group migrated back to the living room, and Keigo no longer had an excuse to put off saying what he came here to say. Okay, so I have two things. He started as he pulled out an envelope from his jacket. First, this is straight from the Madam President, so yeah. As a thanks to the reformed villain Screech for the defeat of the villain known as All for One, the HPSC is hereby granting you from the reform program. You don't even want to know how fast I had to talk to get them to officially downgrade this to a provisional license and not the full license. Wait, they wanted to give him his full license? Shouta asked, horrified. Yeah, Keigo confirmed. Dinky raised his hands up in the air, while Izuku was looking at Keigo with the same level of horror as Shouta. Question, why would that be a bad thing? Izuku was just gaping like a fish. So, Hizashi answered for him. Izuku doesn't want to be in the spotlight, heroes. He wants to be an underground. So, becoming the youngest pro hero ever at 16 would bring him a lot of publicity. He would be forced into the spotlight. He still might be in the spotlight for a little. That fight was televised. But with him being a minor and, more importantly, not yet a hero, his name won't be released to the public. Denki nodded along to that. Okay, that makes sense. Keigo smirked at him. You know, Owlette, that's as soon as you graduate. You already got your full license. The provisional is just a formality, since I convinced them you're too young for the full version. Izuku looked over to Shouta and Hizashi. Please tell me I've unexplicitly lost my hearing and Keigo didn't say what I think he said? Sorry, kiddo. Your license. Congrats. Hizashi cheered. Keigo laughed and ruffled Izuku's hair. Well, with that, I guess I can take off. I really only came to hand you your license. Keigo gave the envelope to Izuku and walked over to the patio, slyly keeping an eye on Shouta as Izuku pulled out the letter. Wait, this is addressed to President Mike. Izuku looked up to Hizashi and handed it to him. With a confused expression, Hizashi read the letter, and Keigo very stubbornly slipped his headphones on to protect his ears. Just in time, too, as Hizashi let out a shriek that made everyone but Izuku flinch and Shouta to activate his quirk. All right! Keigo snapped his fingers. I knew I was forgetting something. The higher-ups also mentioned something about apparently Mike caught the attention of pretty much everyone when he joined Screech in the defeat of All for One, so they're bumping his rate. Congrats, Shouta. You're married to the new number 9 hero. Damn it. Shouta cursed and slid off the couch. I love that. I love that. Just like, so, hi. For a second there, when I said the new and then upped his rank, I'm like, no, don't tell me. No. I was like, are they gonna bump him up to number 1? What the fuck? But no, they put him in 9. I hope he stays up there. It would be nice to have him as number 1. That would be that would be fun. That would be a nice trip. But no, number 9 is realistic. We're staying on the realistic side. Although I feel like Hizashi can be overpowered if his quirk isn't just voice, or I think is his quirk voice in the sense of like, what is his quirk? Hold up. I don't think. Okay, hold up. Hizashi Yamada. Hizashi Yamada going into the fandom wiki. Fandom wiki. Open up, bitch. Open up. Quirk. Quirk. Voice. Hizashi's quirk allows him to increase the volume of his voice, giving him the ability that is similar to a sonic scream. The sound from Hizashi's quirk is strong enough to cause people's ears to bleed from far away. The only known weakness of this quirk is that the loud noises do not travel well underground, making his quirk inefficient against anything that is underground or separated from him by layers of earth. Just okay. Ultimate moves, loud voice. Hizashi raises his voice to a higher levels and increases the shockwave enough to shatter glass and blow anything back away. So that gives the idea that for some reason he also can control the pitch. DJ punch, that is hilarious. Hizashi throws a strong right hook punch at his opponent. I love that one of his ultimate moves has nothing to do with his fucking quirk, and he's just like, DJ punch! I need to see that. Loud out shout. Hizashi releases a shock wave of sound to attack a group of targets. I feel like one of his ultimate, instead of loud voice being his ultimate move, it should be yeah, and then another one being like literally just sayings. Literally just sayings is his ultimate move, right? And it's not gonna be one of those cliche things where open the door, where sorry, that was just my reminder. My mother's reminding me that we have a seminar with a psychologist. And it's just gonna tell us about psychology and stuff like that. Yes, I go to seminars with my mother about psychology. Hi. That's a thing. Also, when you're listening to this, I think, no, yesterday as well. So for the, what's it called? The 16th, 17th, 18th, and probably also the 19th, I'm going on another vacation. I know you guys. Look, guys, before you guys say like, oh my god, you're always going on vacations, because I know this is already going to be what? Okay, so we went to that one. Although I don't know if you guys learned about that one. So there was a New Year's one, there was that one, then there was that other one, and then this is going to be like the 4th, 5th. Yeah, 4th, 5th. Yeah, let's say 4th, just because I'm going to sing my high prayers, because in a month we're having another one. So, God, that's already 5 in 1 year. That's literally one every month, basically. Except I think we skipped the month of April, if we're being honest. Yeah, I think we skipped the month of April. April, we didn't do anything. Not that I could remember. April was a chill day. Not a chill day, chill month. But as I was saying, Hisashi's quirk, if it's just the voice thing, if it's just the, hiring scream, obviously it doesn't become overpowered, but as I've seen a lot of fans do, they take that and they're like, nah, let's make it so that he could also control the pitch and shit. So some people are like, yeah, his quirk voice means he could manipulate his voice, meaning he could do a lot of things, which again is overpowered as fuck. So him being number 1 isn't that far off of a stretch, because like put him against Endeavor and I feel like Hizashi would win. Then again, I think this is me being biased. It's probably me being biased. Probably. I don't know. I mean, maybe. Okay, I am being a little biased. I admit, I'm being biased. Sue me. Anyways, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.